Be sure to subscribe for more content.
What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the BigBC Finance Channel, and I hope you're having a very lovely day today. So in today's video, we're going to be talking all about Luna Classic, what has happened to it recently, and where we predict the price to go to in the near future, as well as why I think there is a large opportunity here on Luna Classic over the coming days and the coming weeks to make a lot of profit longer term here on Luna Classic. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. And of course, if you appreciate the daily analysis on this channel and you're one of the 88% of people that watch my videos that have not yet hit the subscribe, be sure to subscribe to this channel if you like this content. So without further ado, let's talk about Luna Classic, and we're going to start with the shorter term stuff first and just talk about what has happened to Luna Classic price over the past day or so. So basically what we've seen here on Luna Classic was this trading range. So this gray rectangle just basically dictated where the Luna price was mainly at over the past week. And it was pretty boring stuff, really. We've just seen a lot of sideways movement here on Luna Classic. We did see this triangle here. So basically what we have is a line of support, which is this bottom yellow line, this line of resistance here, this top yellow line, and the price just bounced between it over the course of the week. And of course, when we get something like this, this shows us that there is a consolidation. The prices are getting narrower and narrower and narrower. And what this shows is that there should be a breakout at some point in the future if the triangle is respected. And this breakout could go into the upside or the downside. We do not know which way it goes out until the prices start to break out of this triangle formation. And what we actually did see is the prices broke out below our support on this triangle, a bearish breakout there. Momentum increased on the charts and volume increased as well. So this was a confirmed breakout, and the price target from this triangle should have been the first test of support and resistance. So we get the first test of support, which is down here, the first test of resistance up here, and we just drag our measuring tool, and this gives us the price target from the breakout of this triangle, and that price target should be around 14.2 cents here. So if this triangle is going to be respected, then prices, I expect, throughout the day will continue on its leg down all the way down to around 14.2 cents, pretty much touching our green resistance, green support here on Luna Classic, which I'll talk about in a second. So that's my initial observation. We still got another leg down here on Luna Classic. Of course, what we can see on the very short term and what we could be seeing on the shorter term is some sort of consolidation within this area. Of course, its significance isn't that much if we continue to break down, but if we do break to the upside of some sort of consolidation pattern like this, for example, then it could invalidate this triangle up here. So this is something I'm monitoring on the very short term here. See what prices do within this region, because we have seen a lot of triangles here on Luna Classic. We could see something like this, but what I would expect is the price to continue to break down to the intended price target there of 14.2. If we do break to the upside of this triangle, for example, then that would be a mission abort from this triangle here. But of course, as you can see, we've only got a very small amount of price data at the moment, so it's not something I am banking on just yet, but it's something I'm monitoring as we get more price data come in on Luna Classic. So basically, short-term stuff, I do expect 14.2 cents here on Luna Classic. Things on the RSI and the MACD, as we'd expect on the 1 hour time frame. MACD showing that we could be seeing some sort of crossover here, as we see large red histogram bars turning slightly green in this region, but of course not a very clear crossover, so no real signal really from the MACD, but it does look like the bearish momentum is starting to dissipate for the time being. And the RSI is showing that we've still got a lot of bearish momentum. We're at a value of 33 at the moment on the RSI, which is particularly bearish. We've been oversold for quite a while here at the start of Monday as well. So, you know, bearish signs from the MACD and the RSI. The MACD starting to show the bearish momentum easing off, but the RSI is still looking pretty bearish there. So, you know, so we should see prices continue to go down according to those two. Now let's talk about that longer term opportunity here on Luna Classic that I am seeing right now. And for that, we want to zoom out a little bit and just observe this green support here that we have on Luna Classic. If we go on the day chart, you can see this green line is particularly important because it's held up the price of Luna Classic since Luna became Luna Classic after the crash. We see the price literally comes down to it on several different occasions. I've circled them all, so 5 occasions so far, and it's bounced up from this green line every single time. Now what you will actually notice is price at the moment is particularly close to this green line. So if I just take you to where this first happened, so this region for example, and we just have a look at what happened. Let me just get rid of the volume here so that we can see the candles better. Basically, the first instance that we see the price touch the green line, it did come under very briefly, but what we saw was a pump above it. So, you know, we saw this nice pump from the green line to the top of that candle there, nearly 100% pump. Of course, that pump was short-lived and the price did come down, and it kind of actually just chilled very close to this green support that we had here. So, this is the 1-day chart now. So basically we had 7, 8, basically 9 candles in this area. So over a week, the price was just hovering around this green support zone, and in just 1 day the prices start to pump above this green support. It looks like it bounced off and started to pump in the upwards direction, and of course that is 188% pump from the green support where the price was for 9 days till the very top just a few days later. So in this instance here, if we just placed an order for Luna Classic in this region, then we could have made a massive gain if we just held for a few days afterwards. So this is the kind of big opportunity that I'm talking about. Again, we can see another example where this has happened to a T. Have a look at this region. The price comes down very quickly. So this is a 1-day candle. The price comes to this green support, slips just below it, but comes up very, very quickly. So of course, if we traded it from the green line, say we just bought Luna Classic as soon as the price came down to this region, in the very same day, the price is shot back up 24% there. So not as much as this gain over here, but still a nice trade if you're a short-term trader. Again, have a look at this region here. 5 candles just kind of hovering close to the green support that we have here, not really doing too much, but then all of a sudden prices start to shoot upwards. And if we held for the course of the next 2 weeks, from this instance here at the end of August, we would have made a 583% gain. Of course, we would have had to sell at the top to make that, but still just illustrative of how much of an opportunity there is that we are seeing right now. So why I'm particularly excited is because have a look at where we are right now on Luna Classic. Prices come down again very, very sharply to begin with. We see the price come down very sharp. We get the wick of the candle touching this green line, but it shoots straight back up. You can see at the very same day, the prices go back up and close at this level. So if we just bought when the price touched this green line here and then shot back up, that's 42% gain. And if you remember from our other instances as well, this is exactly what happened. We had a sharp drop, a massive pump back up, and the prices just slowly but surely come down to this level. So the second part to this is that the price actually just relaxes, chills in this area. The first time we saw it chill here for 9 days. The second time we saw it chill for 5 days. So this time we don't know how long it would chill. But if it just stays above this green support for X amount of days, then eventually we should see an opportunity where the prices just start to jet back up. And that's if history repeats itself. Of course, guys, a massive if here, but this is something I'm particularly going to be observing, whether the prices stay in this region just above the green support, and we'll be looking for any breakouts. Lots of green momentum there, lots of bullish momentum, an increase in volume on Luna Classic, and that should confirm that prices could be heading in the upwards direction like the previous 2 times like this. And if we just zoom out to the bigger picture, if we see a pump of 188%, just as we did in our first instance there, that would take the prices up to about here, so about 4.2 cents here on Luna Classic. That's if we see the same magnitude of pump that we saw after the first consolidation close to the green support in this region. If we see something like this, a 588% pump, that should take the prices to basically a 1/10 of a cent in literally up here, a 1/10 of a cent here on the Luna Classic. And that's if we see the same pump as we saw back here. So that would be absolutely insane if that were to happen, of course. So these are the kind of opportunities I'm always looking out for. Of course, I'm going to be monitoring, like I say, what happens in this area and for any potential breakouts from this green line here. So really exciting stuff if this does end up playing out. Of course, I make videos on Luna Classic pretty much daily. So if I do see anything, you'll be the first to know if you're subscribed to this channel. Additionally to this as well, I just want to say that if we do break below this line, so what we see over the course of several days is the price starting to do something like this, for example, then this mission is aborted, because of course the whole model for this pump to happen is that the price respects this green support here, and this green support has been respected since the inception of Luna Classic. So if prices do go below this green support here, then this is a mission aborted because this model no longer works. We could definitely still see some pumps in the future, but this model that I've just pointed out here will not be accurate. So we'll have to think of something else if this does slip below underneath the green support here. So that's something else I wanted to say. Additionally, something to support my thesis here on, this pump happening from Luna Classic is the fact that I think we could be seeing Bitcoin at a near bottom here. Now, my previous target for a Bitcoin bottom has always been around $13,000 to $14,000. Some people predict it lower, but for me, since about up here in the 40,000s, I always thought Bitcoin would hit a $13,000 to $14,000 bottom. Now, of course, if we do hit. Now, of course, my main reason for that is because if we look in this end of 2018 region here, at the moment we're sitting at 16,000 on Bitcoin, and I do believe we're somewhere around here on, if we make a comparison to where we are today to where we are at the end of 2018, I think Bitcoin is sitting here right now. It's just slightly consolidating, but it's just got one more leg down before it bottoms out. And obviously, in 2018, it bottomed out at 3,170. And so what I think is going to happen, in this instance, is we do see another leg down, but we start to see prices do some sort of reversal. So into 2023, towards the Bitcoin halving event, prices have always historically started to go up. So starting 2023, I do think Bitcoin's going to make a slow but steady recovery from the bottom at 13 to 14,000. Now, if this does occur, then it kind of feeds into the theory, because of course, Bitcoin bottoming out would be akin to Luna Classic kind of just doing this sideways movement close to this green support here. And when Bitcoin starts to recover, we can see Luna Classic really start to do that pump in the upwards direction again. So this is how Bitcoin kind of supports this theory here of this consolidations close to this green support and the subsequent pump. And additionally, just looking at the shorter term on Bitcoin as well, it does look like that we should be hitting that 13 to 14,000 region because of this triangle as well. So we saw a very similar triangle Bitcoin that we did on Luna Classic. And of course, if this triangle is respected, then this triangle alone should take Bitcoin price close to our final price target here on Bitcoin. And if this triangle does play out, then we should see Bitcoin hit this $13,500 region in the first place. So this is further evidence that shows me that 13 to 14,000 is a target here for Bitcoin. So those are my observations. Really, of course, it's always important to see what Bitcoin does. This could be a fake triangle. Chart patterns are never 100% perfect. And if Bitcoin does start to shoot up, then we could see Luna Classic avoid this green line for the time being, maybe go in an upwards direction for a little bit, but then eventually come down to this green line later in time. So, I'm always keeping my eye out on Luna Classic, but this is mainly what I'm watching for. So there's a lot of lines there, and hopefully you understood what I'm saying. Of course, do feel free to drop a comment if you have any questions for me. But of course, that's all I have to really say in this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you do like this content, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. But otherwise, I'll see you in my next video.